Children, I would like to ask you a few questions. Okay, try to answer those questions. Why the houses in Rajasthan have thick walls and flat roofs? Yes, Pradeep?
Sir, Rajasthan experiences hot and arid climate. It also has scarcity of rainfall.
Good.
Especially houses in Rajasthan have thick walls so that the heat from the surroundings won't get into the house, and at night times the heat won't be escaped into the surroundings.
Very good. So, the design of the houses in Rajasthan, design of the houses in the Rajasthan to protect them from the heat in the daytime and also keep them warm during the night time. Why is that? Houses in Mangalore and Kochi have sloping roofs. Yes, Lavanya?
Sir, in Mangalore and Kochi, they lie in the western coastal plains and the rainfall is high in that region. So when the rainfall occurs, the water slides down easily through the sloping.
Very good, very good. Since these areas receive heavy rainfall, Mangalore and Kochi receives heavy rainfall during the monsoon season, the slanting roofs help for easy sliding of the water. Why houses in Assam are built on stilts? Yes, Aditya?
So houses in Assam are built on stilts because in monsoon season, Assam experiences a very heavy rainfall. So to prevent this, people build their houses on raised surfaces, platforms, and on stilts to prevent their houses from erosion.
Very good. So floods are very common in Assam. So people generally build their houses on raised platforms or stilt outs to protect themselves from the floods, effects of the floods. Why the people in Jammu and Kashmir are wearing woolen clothes? Yes, Swamiji?
So as Jammu and Kashmir is located on a high latitude and high altitude area, it experiences an extremely cold climate. So the people living in Jammu and Kashmir are wearing woolen clothes to protect themselves from the cold climate.
Very good.
By not letting the heat escape.
Very good.
To the atmosphere.
So Jammu and Kashmir is having cold climatic conditions. So people prefer to wear woolen clothes to protect themselves from the extreme cold climatic conditions. Why do people in Rajasthan wear cotton clothes? Yes.
So Rajasthan has an extreme hot climate, so people in Rajasthan wear cotton clothes because it helps in cool aeration.
Very good, Pranita. So cotton clothes known for their natural aeration. You know Rajasthan is having extremely hot climatic conditions, so that cotton clothes help them to keep themselves cool. So by going through these questions, what we understood, anybody can tell? What we come to know is, in different parts of our country, the structure of the houses, the clothes they wear, even the food what the people will wear different from place to place. Why it is different from place to place, all these things? Housing, clothing and food habits are different from place to place. Anybody can? Yes?
So because of the different climatic conditions across the country, since the down areas it is in the equator, upper areas.
Very good. The point is that this diversity in housing pattern or clothing habits or food habits is due to the variations in the climatic conditions. You know children, India experiences various types of climatic conditions in different parts of our country. As a result, we see a lot of diversity in the flora, fauna, even and the habits of the people like food, clothing, even housing pattern of the people. So, why do we experience a large variety of climatic conditions in India? Because there are a number of factors which affect the climatic conditions of a place. Now let us see what are those factors which are affecting the climate of our country. Okay. So today what we are going to discuss is factors that affecting the climate of our country or factors affecting the climate of India. What is the topic? Factors affecting
The climate of India.
Can you name some factors that are affecting the climate of India? Already we have studied what are the factors that affect the climate of your place. Similarly, what are those factors that affect the climate of India? Yes, Pradeep? Relief features. Anything else? Yes. Actually, altitude of the place. Okay. Altitude. Anything else? Yes, Navanya.
Distance from the sea.
Distance from the sea. Rahul. Jet streams and tropical cyclones. Very good. Another important factor is latitude. Even the important factor that affect the climate of our country is monsoon winds. The last but not the least important factor is intertropical convergence zone. Now let us see how these factors are affecting the climate of our country. Okay, so first you know the relief features. Before I explain you, let me show you some videos from Tata class heads how they explain the factors affecting the climate of India.
The climate of India varies greatly from place to place. For instance, the extreme climate of Delhi is very different from that of Mumbai, which experiences moderate temperatures throughout the year. Let's look at some of the factors that affect the climate of India. Click a tab to learn more.
So whatever we already discussed, the factors that affect the climate of India is relief, monsoon winds, latitude, altitude, distance from the sea, jet stream and tropical cyclones and intertropical convergence zone. Let us start from the latitude. How the latitude of the country affect the climatic conditions of our nation. You know children, India is a vast country extending from 8 degree north latitude to 37 degree 6 minutes north latitude. So such a vast extent, that is 30 latitudes are passing through our country. And you know the temperature varies from one latitude to other latitude. Latitudes closer to the equators will have warmer climatic conditions, whereas latitudes away from the equator will have cooler climatic conditions. So the southern part of India being closer to the equator experiences high temperature. As we move upwards towards the north of our country, the temperature will slowly decrease. Another way how the latitudes affect the climate of our country, you know, Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer, which is passing through the center of India, which is dividing India into two heat zones. That is, in the north it is called temperate zone. In the south it is called tropical or torrid zone. So temperate zone, which is lying to the north of the tropical Cancer, which experiences, this zone experiences moderate climatic conditions. Summers are some extreme climatic conditions. Summers are very hot here. Winters are also extremely cold. Whereas coming to the tropical zone, which is lying closer to the equator and south of the tropical Cancer, very hot during the summer season, but winters are mild. So the climate of our country depends on the latitudinal position. Climate of a place depends on the latitudinal position of the region. Let us see how the latitude affects the climate.
The Tropic of Cancer that passes through India divides the Indian subcontinent into almost two parts. Due to this, the areas north of the Tropic of Cancer do not have the midday sun directly overhead at any time of the year. In contrast, the areas south of the Tropic of Cancer have the midday sun directly overhead at least twice a year. Consequently, the northern part lies in the temperate zone, which gives it a warm temperate climate. Summers are hot and winters are cold in this region. On the other hand, the southern part lies in the tropical zone. As a result, it is warmer than the northern part. It does not have a well-defined winter season.
So already I explained you. This Tropic of Cancer dividing India into two zones. Here it is tropical zone, here it is temperate zone. Okay. The next factor which is affecting the climate of our country is, let us say, altitude. Can you tell me how altitude is affecting the climate of any place? Yes, Rajit?
So as the altitude increases, the temperature decreases.
Very good. Altitude and temperature are inverse proportionally related. If the altitude increases, the temperature will decrease. Can you tell me what do we call the process of decrease in temperature with increase in altitude? That is called normal lapse rate. Normal lapse rate means with every 166 meters increase in the 166 meters of height, there is a decrease of 1 degree Celsius of temperature. So that's why places with higher altitude like mountains and tops of the hills have cold climatic conditions, whereas places with lower altitude is having warm climatic conditions. So for example, Kilimanjaro is a mountain lying very close to the equator in Africa, but still the peaks of Kilimanjaro, that generally you know places lying closer to the equator should have extreme hot climatic conditions, but the peaks of Kilimanjaro are covered with snow. The reason is because of its higher altitude. So let us see how altitude is affecting the climate.
Generally, the temperature decreases with an increase in altitude. An increase of 166 meters in altitude causes the temperature to drop by 1 degree. Mountains are therefore cooler than the plains. For instance, even though Kodaikanal is situated in the tropical zone, it is cooler than the surrounding cities because it is situated at an altitude of more than 2,000 meters above sea level.
So you understood, I think, how altitude of a place affects the climatic conditions. As you know, India is having different altitudes at different places, so that's why we have different climatic conditions in different parts of our country. Like Himalayas having higher altitude, cold climatic conditions. Northern plains is having lower altitude, so the climatic conditions are warmer. Okay. The third factor which affects the climate of our country is distance from sea. Can you tell me how distance from sea affects the climate of a place? There are two types of climatic conditions. Okay, one is called moderate. Second one is called extreme. This moderate climate, also called our maritime climate. Extreme called our continental type of climate. Places located closer to the sea coast will experience land and sea breeze. During the daytime it is sea breeze, during the night time they experience land breeze. So they will have a cooler influence of the sea. That's why places lying closer to the sea coast, neither very hot nor very cool, they experience moderate type of climate. Even in summer also they are not very hot, even in winter also they are not extremely cold, they are moderate. We call maritime climate. Take places like Visakhapatnam, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai, those are all located on the sea coast, so they are neither very hot in summer nor very cool in winter. Whereas places located away from the sea coast, take example of Delhi, Nagpur, Simla, so those are away from the sea coast. As a result, they doesn't get influenced by the land and sea breeze. So those places will experience extreme climatic conditions. Means they are very hot during the summers and extremely cold during the winters. Even in daytime the temperature is high and nighttime temperature is low. The diurnal range of temperature will be high in those places which are lying away from the sea coast. So depending on the distance of the place from the sea coast, the climatic conditions varies from place to place.
The distance of a place from the sea also influences the climate. The sea has a moderating effect on the climate of places near the coastline. This happens due to the differential rate of cooling and heating of both the land and the sea. This gives rise to the land and sea breeze, which in turn moderates the climate of coastal regions. India is surrounded by water bodies from three sides: the Bay of Bengal, the Arabian Sea, and the Indian Ocean are the reason why the monsoon winds can collect moisture and bring heavy rainfall to the region, besides helping to moderate the climate. As a result, the city of Mumbai, which is located near the sea, experiences maritime climate with moderate temperatures throughout the year. The temperature here hardly drops below 15 degrees centigrade. In contrast, Nagpur, which is also in the tropical zone, experiences continental climate as it is far away from the moderating influence of the sea. Summers are very hot, whereas winters are extremely cold and dry.
Hope you have understood the influence of the sea on the climatic conditions of a place. There are two types of climates: maritime climate and continental type of climate. Okay. Another factor which affects the climate of a place is relief. So you know that relief. Relief means mountains like Himalayas, Western Ghat mountains, and Aravalli mountains. They also influences climate of that places. So let us first see, and I will explain you how the relief affects.
The Himalayas in the north play a major role in shaping the climate of India. They shield the entire Indian subcontinent from extreme cold winds blowing from Central Asia during the winters. The Himalayas also trap the southwest monsoon winds and bring rainfall to the Indo-Gangetic plains of India. On the other hand, areas north of the Himalayas receive very little rain as they fall in the rain-shadow area of the mountain range. Without these mountains, the Indian subcontinent would not have had such fertile plains. Various other relief features in the country also influence the climate of India. For example, the Western Ghats act as a barrier to the southwest monsoon winds and hence cause heavy rainfall on the windward side. while the Deccan Plateau, which falls in the rain shadow area, gets little or no rainfall. Similarly, the Aravalli Hills in the northwestern part of India run parallel to the path taken by the southwest monsoons. As a result, the moisture-laden winds skip western Rajasthan, making the region very dry and desert-like. So also in the northeastern part of India, South Assam gets heavy rainfall, but the northern hills get very little rain as they fall in the rain shadow region.
Children, the relief features of our country affect the distribution of rainfall. Take for example not only rainfall, even the other climatic conditions also. Take Himalayas. Already they have explained here. It is mountains with higher altitude lying in the northern side of our country, preventing the cold winds coming from the Siberian region in the winter. If Himalayas won't be there, then these cold winds from Siberia will reach to India in the winter, and India becomes a cold desert during the winter. But Himalayas are protecting us from the cold winds. And Himalayas also helps in intercepting the southwest monsoon winds. Without Himalayas, this southwest monsoon winds would have escaped to the central part of Asia without bringing any rainfall to our country. They are intercepting these winds, thus India is receiving, especially the northern plains of our country is receiving rainfall. But northern part of Himalayas, see, generally the side of the mountains which are receiving the moist winds are called windward side. The opposite side of the mountains are called our leeward side or rain shadow area. The side facing the winds will receive more rainfall, whereas the side on the leeward side of the mountains are called our rain shadow area. They do not receive any rainfall. So, southern part of Himalayas receives rainfall, whereas the northern part of Himalayas are dry, lying in the rain shadow area. Similarly, Western Ghat mountains in the western coast, they also obstruct the southwest monsoon winds. So the western coastal plains and the western slopes of the Western Ghat mountains receives heavy rainfall because they are lying on the windward side of the Western Ghats. And the Deccan Plateau region lying on the leeward side of the Western Ghat mountains, and there is very less amount of rainfall. When Aravalli mountains are there in the northwestern part of our country, and the height of the Aravalli mountains are low, and they are lying parallel to the direction of the southwest monsoon winds. So they fail to intercept the winds. As a result, the western part of Rajasthan, that is Thar desert area, is not receiving any, that is there is receiving only scarcity of rainfall. As a result, it become a desert. So relief features also have a greater influence on the climatic conditions of a place. Since we have various relief features in our country, so different types of climatic conditions are experienced in our country. Next factor which is affecting monsoon winds. There are two, we have, India is experiencing, even though we are experiencing various types of climatic conditions in our country, there is one winds called our monsoon winds. These monsoon winds brings rainfall to almost every part of our country during the months from June to September. So there is no place in India which is not get influenced by the monsoon winds. So these monsoons are called as our climatic bond of our country. So that means the farmers of our country are eagerly waits for the arrival of these monsoon winds. These monsoon winds also influence the climatic conditions of our country. So these monsoon winds are actually southwest monsoon winds blows during the month from June to September. Okay. And these winds blow from sea to land. So they are moisture laden winds, they bring rainfall to the larger part of our country. But during the winter, due to the shifting of the pressure belts, and the wind direction will changes from northeast to southwest. But these northeast monsoon winds, they are offshore winds because they blow from land to See, they do not bring any rainfall. But there is only one place, that means a branch of this northeast monsoon blowing through the Bay of Bengal picks up moisture and brings rainfall to the southeastern coast of India, that is to the Tamil Nadu coast. So these two places, only Tamil Nadu coast receives winter rainfall, whereas southwest monsoon season, every place of our country receives more or less rainfall. Let us see how the monsoon winds affect the climate.
Moisture-carrying southwest winds move from the high-pressure regions of the Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal towards the low-pressure region of northwest India. As a consequence, these moisture-laden winds bring rain to the entire Indian subcontinent in the monsoon months between June and September. In November, the winter winds that originate from Central Asia blow over the Bay of Bengal. On their way, they pick up moisture and bring rain to the southeastern coast of India, especially in the state of Tamil Nadu.
So this is how the monsoon winds, both southwest monsoons and northeast monsoons, which influence the climate of our country. The next factor which affects the climate of our country is jet streams and tropical cyclones. Can you tell me what do you mean by jet streams? Yes?
So jet streams are a narrow belt of high altitude westerly winds in the troposphere. Their speed varies from 110 km per hour in summer to 182 km per hour in winter.
Very good, very good. They are fast flowing air currents in the higher altitudes of the atmosphere. The jet streams, along with the shifting of the pressure belts, also influence the climate of our country. There is actually a westerly jet stream originates in the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, during the winter season, it blows from west to east and strikes to the northwestern part of our country, and it brings rainfall in the northwestern part of the country, snowfall in Jammu and Kashmir, and rainfall in Punjab and Haryana. And this winter rainfall, which comes in the month of January and February, highly beneficial for the Rabi crops. Especially, this increases the quality of wheat and barley, which is largely cultivated in this area. And the westerly jet streams blows south of the Himalayas during the summer entire year, but only during the summer season for a short period of time it shifts to the north of the Himalayas. Let us see how this jet stream is influencing the climate of our country.
Jet streams or fast-flowing air currents in the upper layers of the atmosphere combined with the shifting of pressure belts in the winter season have an important influence on the climate of India. In the winter season, low pressure builds up over the Mediterranean region. As a consequence, air currents or jet streams from this region blow out and arrive in India from the western side. They blow south of the Himalayas throughout the year except in summer. They bring snow to Jammu and Kashmir and winter rain to the states of Punjab and Haryana. During the summer, low-pressure depressions build up in the Indian Ocean and travel towards the Bay of Bengal. These depressions over the east coast of India cause typhoons to occur on the eastern coast of India.
So along with the jet streams, there is also tropical cyclones which affect the eastern coast of India, also influences the climate of our country. Actually, tropical cyclones are the low pressure depressions which originates around the Indian Ocean, okay, during the summer season, and they move to the Bay of Bengal, and they take their direction westward or northwestward and strike to the eastern coast of India. These tropical cyclones generally in the summer months and again in the months of October and November, just before the that means post monsoon rains. So they causes devastating loss to the life and property of the people in the eastern coast of India. Sometimes they also brings torrential rainfall and influences the climate of our eastern coastal areas. So this is another factor which affect the climate. Then the last factor which affect the climate of our country is intertropical convergence zone. Do you have any idea what is meant by intertropical convergence zone? Yes?
So intertropical convergence zone is a brought to
Yes.
On the low pressure in the equatorial region in which the northeast and the southeast trade winds converge.
Very good. Sit down. Actually, it is a convergence zone of northeast and southeast trade winds. Normally the northeast and southeast trade winds will converge at the equator, which is the area low pressure trough. But due to the apparent movement of the sun, this low pressure trough shifts to the north or south of the equator. This shifting of the ITCZ or intertropical convergence zone also affect the climate of our country. Let us see how it is.
Around the equator, there is a belt where the northeast trade winds and the southeast trade winds converge. This belt is known as the Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ. It is a region of low atmospheric pressure at sea level and is also known as the equatorial trough. The ITCZ usually lies about 5 degrees north to 5 degrees south of the equator, but shifts in summer over the Ganga plain with the apparent movement of the sun. The migration of the ITCZ into the Indian subcontinental landmass brings the monsoon rains to India.
Children, hope you understood the factors which are influencing the climate of our country. Let me check how far you have understood the factors affecting the climate of our country. Bangalore and Mangalore are located on the same latitude, but Mangalore receives more rainfall than Bangalore. Give reason. Yes?
So Bangalore and Mangalore are located on the same latitude, but Mangalore is located on the leeward side of the Western Ghats.
Mangalore is located on the windward side.
Leeward side of the Western Ghats. And Bangalore is located on the leeward side of the Western Ghats. Therefore, Bangalore receives more rain.
Very good. So relief is influencing the rainfall here. Bangalore is located on leeward side, this is less rainfall. And Bangalore is located on the windward side of the Western Ghats, this is heavy rainfall. Second question, Nagpur is cooler than Mumbai in winter. Give reason. Yes?
So Mumbai is located near the sea coast, so they experience maritime
Type of climate.
and Nagpur is located far away from the sea coast, so they experience an
Extreme climate. Very good. Simla is cooler than Delhi. Give two reasons to support the statement. Yes, Vanita?
So Shimla is located to the north of Delhi, so it is cooler than Delhi, and Shimla is located at the higher altitude, and Delhi compared to Shimla is located at lower altitude.
Very good. So Simla is located at higher altitude and higher latitude than Delhi. That's why it is cooler than Delhi. Okay. So now, do you have any doubts regarding this chapter? Any doubts? No. India is a wide variety of climatic conditions. Already we saw different parts of our country receives different climatic conditions. Arctic type of climate to the desert type of climate, every type of climate is experienced in our country, which results in various types of natural vegetation, various types of wild animals, different types of food habits, clothing habits, different types of structures of houses. These are all as a result of variations in the climatic conditions. The factors already I explained, the 7 factors which are affecting the climate of our country. You have any doubt, anybody, regarding any factors? Please note down home assessment. This is home task for you. Write down. List down the factors affecting the climate of India and explain any two of them. List out the factors affecting the climate of India and explain any two of them. Second question, what are jet streams and how are they influence the climate of India? What are jet streams and how are they influence the climate of India? Complete your home task and submit in the next class. Okay, thank you.